Yo, what is going on, Rangers fans? I am Randy, and I am, of course, your coach of the Texas Pokemon Rangers, back for week number 9 of the GBA D-League Season 4. We're going against TTM Danza, coach of his Los Angeles Nidokings, and this is a massive game for us, man, or for me, mostly. It's huge for him, too, because he's still trying to grab that 2 seed by week, so it's definitely a game for both of us to play. But obviously, I need this to secure a spot, man. I need this to get a chance to secure it by next week, hopefully. And we're gonna play our hard. This is a hard fought game. I'll tell you that right now, guys. This game is a freaking slobber. This is a real fight. This is like a boxing fight here, dude. Like, this is a good match, and I do hope y'all. Hopefully, I can commentate it as best I can. There's so much things I want to say throughout the game, but I want to do my best to just say what's important, and I'll try to explain some of my thoughts at the post game. This is kind of something I need to work on. So my DS is on my lap because it's charging. But here at build, at the preview, I should say. We pretty much had the 6 that I would have expected. I'm really shocked to not have seen his regen core, like Amoonguss or Toxapex. Not one of the two came. And it makes sense because Steela just takes advantage of that, and Latios just tears them apart. So it makes sense, but I was just shocked to not see it. Lopunny was built around taking advantage of those, and not having that is kind of annoying. But, I mean, ultimately, it's not a big deal because Lop's still effective, even with just low kick and power punch and return mainly, because obviously I can just click return for free on a squad. But we do see a Mesprit, which is probably physically defensive with a helmet, and then, of course, Savali is probably either a Scarf, like normal type with like a bunch of coverage, or it's just running like a fat, like, I guess, Psychic. I don't know if he'd be Psychic or Fairy, one of the two. I'm not sure. You'll see in the battle. And then, of course, he has a little Marowak, which is something I didn't expect at all in this matchup. But it does make sense because it, quote-unquote, checks Rotom Heat. And, of course, deals with Celesteela really easily. So it does make sense. And I guess he wants it to take advantage of, like, Uxie or something. But it's something I definitely didn't expect. I don't think it should have came, in my opinion. But, we'll see what happens in the game. And, of course, he has that Zero Aura, dude, man. I have a good team against it, but just like the prep was so hindered for this thing. But I do have my ways to beat it. Catching with Mamo is my only way I'm going to have a chance against it. So that's really, the only thing about that. Weavile, which is definitely probably there because of the Latios being so good. So he could definitely try to pursuit trap me with a Band Set or Life Orb. Probably Life Orb, but that's what I expect. And then, of course, he has Torn, which I expect to be like a Z Heat Wave or something. Or like, I guess he could be in BZ fighting for Rotom Heat. That's what Godoa brought against me. I'm not sure what he could be. Obviously, you'll have to find out in the game. But as you can tell already, I opted to go with Rotom Heat because it was my only real good. It actually has a pretty good chance against every single Pokemon he can lead with there. Obviously, the Torn can't touch me. At least I don't think so. Mesprit can't really do much to me at all. I can just Volt Switch out there for free, I think, despite him having 2 immunities. Marowak, I do have Shadow Ball for that to punish it in case he is a Stealth Rocker. Zero Aura obviously can't touch me, so I can just click Overheat or something. Or even just Shadow Ball, expecting him to go on a Marowak. Weavile obviously can't break me, I can Overheat. Savali is the only thing that kind of like does something to me if he has Toxic or Sub or something. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to this game. I do lead off with the Rotom Heat. And just for the record, I did record this game live, but it was so long, dude. We went to like 10 minutes on the timer, so I didn't want to upload a 50-minute live comm. Normally I would, but I didn't want to do that to you guys. I'm going to try to record this as clean as I can, as short as I can, short and sweet. Although I believe this is like a freaking, 34-turn game. So, turn 1, I, step it up. I decided, you know what? I'm making a prediction. Clicking Shadow Ball turn 1 because Marowak is just like a stupid good switch into Rotom Heat if he doesn't expect Shadow Ball or like Dark Pulse or Foul Play. So I do end up going for the Shadow Ball on his Marowak, and even with only 28 special attack EVs, I am doing a clean 60%, or 60% to that Alola Marowak, which is awesome because we are able to just clean 2-hit and knock out Alola Marowak. So get a kill within the first 2 turns. Could not have asked for a better start, but ultimately, it wasn't really doing that much to my build. I don't think so. He probably thought about that going into it. He could have saved it for a sack at some point, but my entire team outsped it and could kill it outside of Uxie, so that probably played into it. Uxie can outrun it too. I got Foul Play. So it goes into his volley here. I don't want to get toxic or nothing like that because I realized Rotom Heat is my only way to deal with that Zero Aura reliably. So I decided to go hard, David, my Uxie. He goes for the Toxic, which is not a big deal there. No Gallade. I don't really need to stay too healthy for this. I do have Colbert to catch that Weavile with a T-Wave at some point. So he goes for the Poison there. and I'm able to good up my stealth rock here on this turn. And this is kind of a brain fart. He goes multi-attack there. I realize he's fairy at this point, by the way. He is actually Savali fairy. So that's kind of annoying, but go for stealth rock there, and I brain farted here. I thought like he had no hazard removal besides Torn, but I forgot that Savali gets defog as of this gen. I mean, it's this gen, but like as of Ultra Sun, I think Ultra Moon. So it's unfortunate, man. I forgot he got defog. That's stupid on my end, but it doesn't matter too much. At least I don't think so. I'll go for the U-turn there, slow U-turn, which is pretty nice, and I can bring in my, I believe I bring in my Shaman here because I do have the substitute. And with sub, I can definitely play around with this Savali just a bit. He doesn't have a great answer to this outside of his Torn, which he does decide to go hard into on my substitute, which is, you know, always going to be the switching, I believe, because I can't touch this thing very well. So I go for sub, and I just want to find out what his set is here. I want to find out if he's Z. I want to find out if he's Orb. I want to find out if he's, I mean, he's not Orb. We know that already, but he always on his U-turn so far. So he went for Sludge Wave here. And of course, Sludge Wave was a more reliable way to beat Shaman than Hurricane or Air Slash. So good prep on his end. So I went ahead and just going for the Seed Flare here, just to gauge the damage and find out if he's Assault Vest. But given that I'm max defense and that Seed Flare did almost 25% to him, he's definitely running no bulk on this thing whatsoever. So my Shaman's able to find out the spread here a little bit, and I decide to go ahead and switch out into, I believe, my Rotom Heat. I think I may have actually stayed in. I don't remember if I did stay in or not, but I think I go back into Rotom Heat on this turn because Sludge Wave wasn't going to do much to me at all. Yeah, I went back into Rotom Heat here. As he actually makes a pretty good play back into Savali, and I don't want to mess around with any predictions. I'm okay if he goes for Parting Shot. I want to just go straight for back into Shaman because I am not playing around with getting Toxic because, like I said, man, I need Rotom Heat. Rotom Heat does so well in this matchup. So Toxic on the Shaman, that's cool. I got Natural Cure. I'm not too worried about that. So of course we're switching back and forth here. You've seen this turn right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just click. I believe I clicked Seed Flare straight up on this turn. This little part of the match is a little tricky for me to remember because it was so just like back and forth type stuff here. All messing around with our bulk. So because it actually comes back in, which it's a Torn. I believe I went for Seed Flare. I think hard. Yeah, Seed Flare, hard Seed Flare there. Not that it really mattered because he's able to regen it all back anyway. So he goes for the Seed. Obviously I drop a Spadef. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he opts the U-turn here. But I think I stayed in. I think I stayed in here, if I remember correctly. I think I opted to stay in on his U-turn. Yeah, I stayed in on his U-turn while I went for Seed Flare once again, I believe. So all we've seen is U-turn and Sludge Wave. And here I'm a little suspicious about his set. He went for U-turn and not Sludge Wave. He really didn't have a reason to predict. If he has U-turn, he can always just use it afterwards. So here I'm thinking he could be Scarf Torn, man. And I was saying in the builder, like, I don't think it's like a real bring. Like, why would you need Scarf Torn? I mean, obviously Lop. Obviously it's to outrun Lop, but like, I just don't see that being like a real effective set against my team, you know? I don't know. It was something I just didn't feel was that great, but obviously we're all different. Maybe I'm just stupid. I probably am. But anyways, Mesprit came in on that Seed Flare and I snacked on it pretty nicely. And I go ahead and switch into my Uxie. He gets up his rocks, and I'm sure at this point he knows that, okay, well, I'll keep my rocks up. You know, I'm okay with keeping rocks up on your field. So I'm able to trade rocks here, and I know for sure he's not going to defog because he went for rocks. So this gives me an opportunity to clean out my Stealth Rock as he goes hard into his Weavile Kelvin, which is a pretty good play on his part. And this is where I wish I would have had HP Fighting, man, for sure. But he goes for the Weavile here. But the fortunate thing is I do have my Cobra Berry intact, and I can go for the Thunder Wave and pretty much neutralize this Weavile pretty good here. So I do go ahead and go for the Thunder Wave here on his Pursuit. Got that Cobra Berry. He's going to bounce off on a potential Life Orb Pursuit. But that Pursuit did no damage. He is not Life Orb whatsoever. So Cobra Berry procs. I go for Thunder Wave to paralyze his Weavile and effectively neutralize it, which is awesome for my squad. But for some reason, this man has Lumberry, like, which is freaking wild, dude. I have not brought status like Thunderwave Uxie all season, so it was crazy he brought it, dude. Like, he just knew Thunderwave was gonna be the play, which is wild. So really good prep on his end, really good prep. Like, it was so good, I thought it was counter teaming, bro. Like, that's how good it was. Like, this isn't any salt coming out. Like, it was just like crazy how he knew Thunderwave Colbur Uxie was like a thing that was gonna happen. And even though Colbur is like, you know, that's not like an unheard of thing for Uxie, and, you know, to lure in Weavile or even Gallade. So Not a big deal, but it sucked for sure because I would have effectively neutralized the Weavile. So here I finally have a chance to bring in my Mega Lop, and I kind of make a misplay here. I decided to go for the power-up punch, thinking I can get a free +1, but ultimately he didn't have a return switch in. I should have just clicked return to potentially get this thing at 2-shot range, at least later on in the game. We know he's max defense there with that calc there. Did about 5% with that power-up punch there. So I opt to just switch out here back into my Shaman, because Shaman's my only real effective switch into this beast, and I can get some leftover recovery back on a multi-attack, which he opts to do. He definitely does not want to play around with that Mega Lop. And here I opt to go for the GlitchxCity because I know Torn's probably going to come back in, but the leftover recovery is important for me to have a an answer to this, as well as be able to live a Fire Punch from the Zero Aura if needed. So he goes into Shaman, takes a rock damage, 25% flat. I get up my seeds, and Shaman is effectively able to get up some more recovery. I'm definitely still going to die to Sludge Wave, but I mean, getting up that leftovers and the GlitchxCity is important to keep me healthy, to keep switching in and out. So I think I'm doing a good job with Shaman here. I could probably be a bit more aggressive, but I mean, that's the way it ended up going. So here I do switch out back into my Rotom Heat because, like I said, he can't really touch me all that well, as he does opt to go for the U-turn, expecting me to switch out. So a pretty good play on his part there, obviously. So he is able to switch out there, and of course bring back in the Silvally, which has just been his answer the whole game. So again, I'm not getting toxic, man. I'm gonna keep switching back into Shaman because I do not want to get toxic at all. I'm not gonna let it happen. So I do end up going back into my Shaman as expected. Really obvious, I know. But like I said, man, I need Rotom Heat. Rocks are up, which is annoying, but hey, I mean, that's the way it goes. So it goes for the Toxic on my Shaman and a BOYZ, which is pretty clutch on my end here because I don't have to worry about him having me status. So I again go for the GlitchxCity. I actually go for Seed Flare again, I think. I don't know why I went for Seed Flare, but let's see. I think I went for Seed Flare. I'm pretty sure I went for Seed Flare. Yeah, I went for Seed Flare, and he's instantly rewarded for the Toxic miss with a Seed Flare miss. Not that it would have really mattered too much, but, that's the way things go anyway. So Sludge Wave goes back in. He wins the 50-50 and is able to effectively knock out my Shaman. So Shaman finally goes down. Not the biggest deal in the world because I still have my Lop to come in because I know that I'm faster. At least I think so. And even if he is Choice Scarf, Sludge, obviously I'm resistant to the poison, and I can just fire off a pretty free return at this point. His Mesprit is only switching in with Rocks up. It won't be a switch in much longer. So Mesprit comes in, takes that clean 12.5 or whatever it is, and I'm able to do return. It's 12.5. I'm not stupid. So return brings him to right just about below half with the leftovers, and bring him back up to around 55% range there. And I'm able to just switch out here. I don't want to risk anything here. Probably should have stayed in to go for return because he goes for U-turn here. But hey, man, a lot of us felt like it wasn't a great mon in this game, given that he still had Weavile in the back. And of course, Zero Aura can blow me back with a knockoff, I think, after Rocks. So I did not want to even save this thing. So he goes in Impedance, which is a Zero Aura. He brings it in. I'm not sure why he didn't bring in Weavile, but he brings it in on me, knowing that I'm not going to be Scarf or whatever. So he goes for the knockoff and effectively knocks out my Latios. So that's unfortunate. Well, he knocked me off with that. No, he went for U-turn. My bad. He went for U-turn. So he just knew it wasn't going to be Scarf there. So Aaron comes in. I keep saying Aaron. I'm sorry. So he goes for Volt Switch here. I do opt to go for the Pain Split because I'm pretty much lower than the rest of his squad, except I believe the Silvally. I think I'm not too much lower than the Silvally, but he's still higher than me, so I'm going to get some juicy HP back. And my low HP stats definitely going to be effective here. So Rotom Heat gets that Pain Split off, and at this range, Overheat will indeed knock out the Silvally because I do believe he is max defense. And of course, with my slight investment, I'm able to barely put in range of an Overheat. So he finally gets off the Toxic. He's been going for it all game, but I am effectively able to knock out the Silvally here, which is nice because it gives me one less annoyance from Mamoswine. Mamoswine is not set up on the field yet. This thing's already gone. Marowak's gone, so we don't have to worry about that thing being resisting. Torn, obviously, if it has Yachi, I have Icicle Spear for it. I just need more than 3 hits, or 3 hits at least. His Zero Aura is getting lower. If I can keep getting it lower on Rocks and Life Orb damage, Mamoswine's going to pull this out for sure, dude. Like, there's no doubt about it. So, he's right in at 25 or 75%. Goes for the Volt Switch. I'm able to snack on the Volt Switch, obviously, there. He didn't go for CC or knockoff, which is a little Question was a little weird, but I'm at -2 special attack. So what what can you do? So I believe I went for the Shadow Ball on this turn. Oh, sorry, Overheat. Overheat on his Uxie. I'm not Uxie, the Mesprit. Mesprit is down there, and Mesprit, which is one of his other answers to Scarf Mamoswine, is getting low. So he's already in range of Spear, which is all I would have wanted in this game. So definitely should click Shadow Ball, by the way, because it would have been much more effective here to be able to kill it without having to sack something else off. So Rotom Heat, I go for Shadow Ball here, expecting it to kill, but at -4 special attack with no bulk, with no offensive investment, it's not going to kill. So Mesprit does indeed live another day, goes for the U-turn, and he can bring back in something else to revenge me. And I'm hoping it's Weavile. That way I can get him more hurt with rocks to put it in range of Mamoswine, I hope. So he does bring it in, fortunately for me. Excuse me. And some more water. Some good water. So Weavile is back in, and he's able to just pursuit trap me in case I want to switch out, but obviously knockoff was always the right play in case I want to bring in something else. So now I bring back in the Lop, and it sucks that Mesprit lived, and I say that because he would have had to have sacked something here, being his Weavile or his Weavile Torn. Because if Mesprit would have died, like if I went for Shadow Ball there, he would have had to have sacked Weavile on that turn. So it sucks that he had a free sack. But, I mean, it's not going to matter, I don't think. So, at this point, all I got to do is just injure this thing just a little bit more for an Icicle Spear to bring it back, man. And that's all I need. And he's got that Life Orb. He doesn't have a Life Orb. He has a belt, I think. I don't remember. So, CC comes out, obviously. He has them. I'm not stupid. But, he's able to knock out my Lopunny. But with the -1 defense, this means that he's going to have to switch out, or else Mamoswine to catch him. He doesn't have a Life Orb. I don't know why I didn't say that early on. So, Mamoswine finally comes in, and this is ball game right here. If he sacks Weavile on this turn, this game is over, like straight up. So, Weavile comes in, Mama Icicle Spear, and all I need is I mean, it's already in 2-hit range no matter how many spears I get here. So, Icicle Spear, obviously, if it's 1, it does 2. I need a 3 for it to 2-hit, so I get a 3rd hit here. And these last 2 are just, icing on the cake, bro. We get the 5-hit and knock out the Weavile. So, effectively, if we get a 3-hit spear on his Torn, if he's Yachi, I win the game. I kill the Zeraora, 100%. So, he brings in Torn. And as long as I get a 3-hit on Yachi, it's game over. But the man was Scarf, as I suspected earlier on in the game. Scarf Grass Knot effectively shuts down my Mamoswine, and we do lose the game heartbreakingly. Dude, in the live game, I was so excited because I thought I brought it back. Even though I definitely should have suspected Scarf from the moment he predicted with U-turn. Because if you're not Scarf, what's the point of even going for... Like, I don't get, like... I should have just known that 100% he would have been Scarf, but... I played it to where he would have been Yachi. That's the way I played it. I felt like I didn't play it wrong. Having that Mesprit sack probably didn't matter because he would have just sacked Weavile to Lop, I think. So I don't think that really would have mattered too much. So yeah, I mean, it was not a big deal because he would definitely have to sack Weavile that turn. But it would have made it closer because if I killed Mesprit on the Shadow Ball, then if he sacked Weavile to Lop, then he would have to have had sacked his Zeraora to Spear, for sure. Or I could have gone off a choke and maybe he switched into his Torn and died. That could have been a potential win as well. But he wouldn't have done that choke. It would have been, I think at the very least, it could have been a 1-0 loss on my end. So that 1 action differential is a little annoying if I just click Shadow Ball. But obviously there's a lot of different holes in my game. I could have played a little bit better. But honestly, like looking at the post-com, yeah, I probably could have played better, but immediately after the game, I just thought, man, this guy's prep was insane. He had a Lumberry Weavile. He had a Scarf Torn, which, again, I don't think was that great against me. But obviously, it clutched him out for him, because if he didn't have it, he would have lost the game. Even if he was Yachi, he would have lost too, because, I mean, I would have needed 3 hits, but, I mean, let's not go there. But, yeah, man, it sucks. We came so close. I think I played it right to the end. I think I played it right. Given that I figured he wouldn't be Scarf, but he ended up being Scarf, and that's it. Ended up costing me the game. So great prep on Danza's part, dude. This man is a monster. He's gonna make a deep run, I'm sure. If he's not stopped by a lower seed or I don't know, dude. He can go all the way for sure, especially with that Zeraora too. Definitely a little bit harder. It's not that great. Like, it's not a beast, obviously. I'm not trying to whine or nothing. But it definitely hindered my prep, I felt like. So it's a little annoying it's able to be illegal in the middle of the season. or so close to the playoff run, because he literally got a freaking beast for this late playoff run, which is pretty insane. But ultimately, I had a chance to win this game, and I'm not trying to ramble on too much, but it sucks because the position I'm in. So it's all good. We still have 2 weeks left. We are at 4-5. The 2-0 loss puts us back at neutral with our differential. So at 4-5, we have Melon next week, and then we have Greg to finish out the season. And at this point, we need to win out, man. We got to win out, because if we don't win out, dude, we are in trouble. We will miss playoffs, and it will not be a good time. I need to get back into playoffs. I need to knock somebody out and try to make a magical run. That's going to be the goal here. We're going to be biggest prep of the season against Melon. We're going to be going all out, man, throwing ideas out. If only if everybody chatted there. So, yeah, anyways, so great game played to Danza. Again, if there was salt coming out of me for the Zero Aura, I mean, take it however you want. I mean, I'm not saying it's the reason why I lost. Obviously it's Danza's play and prep was the reason why I lost. I'm just saying it's a little annoying that it's illegal, but we knew this going into the season. We knew it'd be legal if it came out in the middle of the season. So Danza was smart to pick up on it. So it's all good. Anyways, guys, great game to Danza once again. I said like 12 times already, so I hope you guys show him the support he deserves. And I will catch y'all next week for the biggest game of the season. This is like a playoff game next week, bro. Against Melantosh. Winner probably secures a playoff spot. The loser probably gets knocked out. Unless Melon wins week number 9. If he wins 9, he probably can lose to me, but he definitely doesn't want to, because he can definitely get caught up by Deebs or even Techno. So, anyways, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed. I will see y'all next week, and I'm looking forward to it. #Pursuit. Go Rangers.